My Divine Diary Chapter 1, Beginning. Chapter 1 Beginning. This is a small village deep in the mountains, with only a dozen households, farming and hunting for a living. At this moment, the setting sun dyes the sky red, and the mountain bird is undulating. Smoke rises from the village, chickens crowing and dogs barking. Guzzi, sitting in a daze on the ridge again, coming back for dinner soon. Wow! The big yellow dog named Big Guzzi was wagging its tail excitedly, turning around a 3-year-old child. The child's immature voice yelled, "No." Then whispered, "I'm called Su Hao, don't call Guzzi." Patted buttocks and got up, and walked back at the pace of the second uncle. The big dog happily followed. A village woman carries a baby behind her back, busy working inside and out. After setting up the dinner, I looked out and saw Su Hao's figure and smiled immediately. The village woman is Su Hao's mother, and Su Hao's younger sister is behind her mother. The owner of the table sits, the big man is smoking a dry cigarette, his eyebrows are somewhat similar to Su Hao. This is Su Hao's father in this life. Within 3 days of waking up, Su Hao understood everything that happened to him. Coincidence is not always accurate. After Su Hao quit his job, he plans to travel the country by car. The car drove at the high speed for an hour without seeing any other cars. The whole highway was empty except for his car. On a whim, he slammed on the accelerator, and his speed quickly soared to 160 yards, and he continued to soar, feeling the speed and passion. However, accidents always happen when people are most satisfied. His car waded through the stagnant water and skidded, bumped into the mountain uncontrollably, and turned into biscuits together with the people and the car. At this time, a coincidence happened. A tiny wormhole suddenly appeared. Su Hao's consciousness that was knocked out went into the wormhole, and after inexplicable changes, he temporarily settled in the wormhole. There is a faint trend of fusion. And the moment the wormhole appeared, it disappeared, and with Su Hao's consciousness, he went to the unknowable depths of the universe. Like a small pinball, carrying Su Hao's information from the fertilized egg to his death in a car accident, wandering lonely in the long universe. The wormhole pinball suddenly appeared in a certain starry sky, and then suddenly disappeared, freely shuttled through the strange dimensions. In this process, Su Hao could not think. When Su Hao's consciousness temporarily resided in the wormhole only saved all the information of Su Hao, but did not provide a vehicle for thinking. Therefore, in the long wandering, Su Hao had no consciousness. I don't know how long it took, it seemed only a moment, and it seemed that 1,000,000 years had passed, until Su Hao had the ability to think again. After Su Hao has the ability to think, he knows everything by faintly contacting the wormhole and checking the information stored by the wormhole. Also understood that the reason why he became a human child was because the wormhole pinball accidentally hit a child, and the child's brain became the vehicle for Su Hao's thinking. It seems that Su Hao has passed through and became a child, but this is not the case in essence. His information and consciousness are still in the wormhole, but he borrows the brain of a young child to think. On the surface, it looks like a normal person. In the beginning, even Su Hao thought that he had crossed. It was not until he checked the information stored in the wormhole that he understood what was going on. As long as he wants, he can even see how he develops from a fertilized egg. This is a miracle. This is Su Hao's sigh after he learned everything. He calls the wormhole pinball space. Dang dang dang. Suddenly, there was a rapid knocking of gongs in the small village, accompanied by crazy dog barking. Su Hao's father and mother's complexion changed drastically. "Hurry up and find a place to hide, I'll go out and have a look." Just as Su Hao didn't know why, his father threw the tableware and chopsticks, and ran out after an explanation, and took off the hunting bow and machete on the wall. Su Hao looked bewildered, looking at his mother to seek answers. But her mother looked like she hadn't seen her. She picked up Su Hao in one hand with an anxious expression and turned around in the room, but she couldn't find a suitable place to hide. Su Hao realized that the danger was coming, and did not yell to block people, but was quietly carried by his mother. At this time, there were shouts of killing and screams, accompanied by the man's mad laugh, from far to near. In desperation, his mother moved away the firewood, put down Su Hao and his sleeping sister, and covered them tightly with firewood. Su Haoan was quiet, without saying a word. "Urguzi, listen to your mother, don't make a sound, don't move." After the explanation was clear in a low voice, the mother took a kitchen knife and rushed out. However, he just rushed out of the door and was immediately blocked back. Two unruly big men with open followed in. "Three brothers, come and see what we found, a young lady, he. Don't worry, get down first." Mother listened and knew what she would meet. She is a woman, as long as she obediently, she has a chance to survive. But his two children are still in the house. Once they are found, the two children are absolutely dead, and the two robbers must be allowed to leave as soon as possible. Mother no longer hesitated, she lifted the kitchen knife and stroked her throat, spraying blood, and she slowly fell to the ground. The two robbers reacted and wanted to stop, it was already too late. "Come on, such a girl, bad luck." When the mother fell on the ground, she just glanced at the firewood. Her two children must survive. With hope, the light in his eyes disappeared. Su Hao was blocked by the firewood, but through the sound, he also understood what happened. "My heart is full of anger, but helpless." The two robbers no longer paid attention to the dead mother, they found out the food, and were about to leave. Wow wow wow. The movement was so loud that Su Hao's sister woke up at this moment. She didn't see her mother's sister, and suddenly burst into tears. "It's awful." Su Hao secretly said awful. At this time, it was too late to coax his sister. Soon, the firewood was opened by two robbers. Su Hao looked at the two brawny men with blood-stained swords in their hands, so he could only open his hands and stand in front of his sister. "Brother, take it away or kill it. A crying child is the most annoying." Flashed across. Su Hao fell in a pool of blood. Shoo! Another knife flashed. The crying stopped abruptly. Through, just so dead. While staying, Su Hao was slightly unwilling. He is full of curiosity about this other world, and has planned the future. He wants to go out of the mountain village to see this wider other world. However, he died before the age of 3. Su Hao lost consciousness. The pinball space carried Su Hao's consciousness that he had fallen into a stagnation, and continued to roam. Pinball space is constantly moving forward in the vast universe, encountering various force fields, attracting, rebounding, accelerating, stopping, turning to an unknown depth. Time passed, I don't know how long it took. Su Hao opened his eyes again and regained consciousness. Through the information recorded in the pinball space, I understand that I have traversed an infinite distance and come to a new world. His body is a 2-year-old boy. The 2-year-old child does not have a strong sense of self, and is easily invaded by Su Hao, becoming a vehicle for his thinking. If he changes to an adult, his consciousness will be bounced away by his original consciousness and cannot become a carrier. This is also the reason why the two waking up are children. Because of this, Su Hao realized what a miracle his journey was. The universe is so wide, and the pinball space has been able to wander aimlessly twice in a row, and finally successfully crossed the body of a 2-year-old child. How lucky this is! Su Hao sighed, I will cherish this time. I will live vigorously. Because, I may not be so lucky in the future. Then. When Su Hao was 3 years old, a plague broke out in the small town where he lived. He accidentally got infected and died. End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 2, 3 years old, died. Chapter 2 At the age of 3, died. When Su Hao woke up again, he found that he had become a little boy over a year old. His family is a pharmacy in the city, and it's pretty good. This can't help but let him breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, luck is good for me, this time I must. Wrong. Su Hao immediately realized what was wrong. Such a coincidence is due to luck, once or twice, but every time it does, it's not luck, but inevitable. Su Hao fell into thinking. The more I think about it, the more I feel scared, the more I think about it, the more I feel trembling. Pinball space wanders aimlessly with his consciousness, where he will go in the next moment. It is impossible to speculate, it is possible to go anywhere. In other words, it is possible for the pinball space to bring Su Hao's consciousness to children over 2 years old, but the universe is too vast, beyond the vastness of human imagination, so this possibility is extremely small and small. No one would think he would happen. However, the most amazing thing is that as long as time is still flowing forward, any possibility, no matter how small, will become a reality in the distant future and will happen. So, in theory, as long as the pinball space continues to wander, Su Hao will definitely find a new vehicle for thinking. Su Hao did not feel a trace of excitement, but fell into deep fear. Every time I wake up, how long is the interval? 1,000 years, 10,000 years, millions of years, tens of millions of years. Maybe more. This length of time has exceeded Su Hao's imagination. In such a long time, every time Su Hao reincarnated, it seemed extremely precious. This is a small probability in exchange for endless time. He is determined to set his mindset and live his life well. Adding up all the time he could think about before, he just lived 30 years old, which was far from enough. In the next 3 years, Su Hao cherished his life very much, was cautious, and was ready to pack things up and run away when he encountered anything. All code of conduct, life first. And through the surrounding environment, roughly understand the basic information of the world. This is a world of martial arts, and there is a real concept of martial arts. Su Hao saw from his own window that there were masters chasing me on the roof at night. With a sword, a light sword and a light sword, he could cut a large pillar into two. Never do anything false. This also made Su Hao secretly feel dangerous. At the same time, he raised the idea of becoming a martial arts master in the future. Swordsmanship, punishment and punishment were his childhood dreams. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to have any chance to come into contact with martial arts secrets, and no one can learn from a teacher. His house is just an ordinary pharmacy. Su Hao is not discouraged. He is still young and believes that one day he will succeed. After another year, Su Hao was 6 years old, and a female heroine was treated at home. Who knew that after the woman was wounded, she was afraid that Su Hao's family would leak her whereabouts to the enemy, and ruthlessly killed Su Hao's family. Su Hao did not escape, and was once again taken into the depths of the universe by the pinball space. Woke up again and became a 1.5-year-old boy, the eldest son of the family, and he has a lot of pets. The family is quite powerful in the local area. It is absolutely impossible for outsiders to hurt him. This time Su Hao had to learn from it, so he must survive. Half a year later, his father's concubine gave Su Hao a half-brother, and then he was drowned in the fish pond by the concubine. Less than 2 years old this time. Su Hao regained consciousness. This time he was a 2-year-old girl who came to a modern world. The technological products have not yet completely exploded. You can already see black and white TVs, radios, and tricycles in the streets and lanes. I believe it again. Soon, he will be able to reach the level of the 21st century on Earth. He can be a master in this world, copy books and songs, copy movies. As for becoming a little girl, Su Hao also feels that there is nothing, as long as she lives well, is the greatest happiness. 2 years later, when the war broke out suddenly, Su Hao, who had not had time to go to school and become a schoolmaster, was killed by a grenade that fell from the sky. Su Hao came to the world of Xianxia, encountered a man in the magic way practicing sorcery, and slaughtered the city. He was 3 years old and died. Magic world, the city was broken by orcs and killed by massacre. 2.5 years old. The ancient world was washed away by the flood. 3 years old. After experiencing many worlds and trying various methods of death, Su Hao discovered that life is too fragile. When a young child grows up, he will experience all kinds of things. No matter how big or small an accident is, there will be one. It is possible that children without the slightest ability to protect themselves will die directly. This made him realize how much effort his parents had put in to grow up smoothly on the earth in his previous life. Opening his eyes again, Su Hao went through the experience of the previous death in his mind, and carefully analyzed the reasons why he did not grow up smoothly many times. One is the harsh world environment. The second is the unstable social environment. The third is that parents pay too little attention to provide adequate protection. Fourth is that they are too young and lack the ability to protect themselves. Su Hao wants to survive smoothly, he must pass the hurdles of young children and think of ways to protect himself. The world environment and social environment cannot be changed, and what can be done is the attention of parents and the improvement of self-protection ability. Never mind the self-protection ability, a 3 to 5-year-old child does not want to have a strong self-protection ability, as long as he is vigilant and careful in everything. So what can be done is to win the attention of parents and use them to protect themselves. This time, don't die for some inexplicable reason. Be sure to. Speaking of this, Su Hao quickly shut up. I have said this in previous lives, but every time I must die, like a curse, I can't get rid of the shadow of death after I say it. After thinking about the strategy, Su Hao began to think about his own situation. This is a modern and civilized world. At this time, it has entered the era of information technology. Smartphones have entered thousands of households, and all kinds of vehicles on the streets come and go, almost the same as Su Hao's previous metropolis. He was born in a country similar to China on the earth, and his name is Luo Chaohui in this life. I live in Bezu City, a second-tier city. My parents are just ordinary office workers. My father is Luo Xingrong, a home designer. He is tall and handsome. He is a little handsome before marriage. His weight continues to increase after marriage. Now he has become a greasy man. Male. His mother's name is Huang Shujun, an elementary school math teacher. Since the birth of Luo Chaohui, her complexion has become aging visible to the naked eye. Luo Chaohui is the only son of their husband and wife. The couple are busy with work and have no plans to have a second child. They are very concerned about Luo Chaohui. But Luo Chaohui has been frail and sickly since he was born, making the couple suffer very much. Spending money is one thing, mainly because I feel sorry for my son. Just after the husband and wife brought the two sleepy Luo Chaohui back from the hospital, they were snatched away by Su Hao. As for the husband and wife, they did not notice the abnormality of their son. Putting Su Hao pretending to sleep on the bed and covering the quilt, Huang Shujun gently exited the room. At this time, Luo Xingrong walked over to hug his tired wife, hesitated for a moment and said, "Shu Jun, otherwise, let's have another one." This made Su Hao's heart cold. How could he be abandoned after passing through? End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 3, Kindergarten Brother. Chapter 3 Kindergarten Brother. Wait. Wait for shall we to get better. Su Hao did not expect that his mother, Huang Shujun, was unusually determined. After speaking, there was silence outside the room. In the next month, Su Hao's life became regular, eating enough to sleep, and walking and climbing during the rest of the time. His body was visible to the naked eye and restored to the child's expected complexion and became rounded. The couple were overjoyed and took Su Hao to the hospital again for examination. The child in your family is no longer a serious problem. Bring it here for inspection once a month from now on. If there is nothing abnormal within half a year, there will be no need to come again in the future. Doctor is a short-haired aunt about 50 years old. Seeing Su Hao's complexion recovered, she smiled with joy on her face. Why has Xiaoyi changed so much this month? Huang Shujun asked, still a little worried. Recently, the quality of sleep is very good, the nutrition can keep up, and the child's own vitality is strong, it is normal to recover faster. The doctor said patiently. Thank you, doctor. Huang Shujun left the hospital with Su Hao after he finished speaking. She burst into tears as soon as she left the hospital. Wow, I can't stop it. Su Hao was at a loss, wondering what happened to Huang Shujun. Could he cry with joy? Just when he was thinking about whether to wipe his mother's tears or something, he realized that he had short hands and short legs that could not be reached, so he held his mother's hand tightly. Huang Shujun felt the pressure of her fingers, and suddenly squatted down to hug Su Hao and wept bitterly. A moment later, he cried and explained the reason. Shall we? It's my mother who is sorry. Mom shouldn't take the bad mood of school work home to make you scared, make you sleep well, eat well, it's my mother's fault. I see. Su Hao suddenly realized. Everything in the world has cause and effect. In the next 3 years, Su Hao's health is getting better and better, running and jumping, no different from other 4 or 5-year-olds. In the past 3 years, Huang Shujun has mixed joys and sorrows. I am happy that my son's health is getting better and better. In addition, his son's intelligence is very high, and he can even be called a genius child. Once he brought back homework from school to change, his son saw that he was too tired next to him, so he offered to help her change the homework. She smiled and didn't care at first, but when she corrected a position, her son immediately pointed out the wrong place, which surprised her very much, so she gave Su Hao a simple paper, all answered correctly, and then improved. Difficulty, all the answers are correct again. Asked Su Hao who taught him, and replied, read the book by yourself. Since then, Huang Shujun believes that his son is a genius in a million. I am worried that my son is too clingy, so clingy makes her doubt her life, and even secretly searched the internet many times for the question, is a 5-year-old child very clingy? As long as it is not during school working hours, Su Hao will follow wherever she goes, and appear in front of her anytime and anywhere. As long as her eyes are open, then she will definitely be able to see her son. This made her suspect that in addition to being a genius, her son had some strange autism. I didn't dare to take it to a psychiatrist, for fear of being spotted by a smart son, and thus low self-esteem. In addition, I am also worried about my son's education. There is no doubt that he is a genius, and he is not the kind of genius with excellent grades. So the question is, how do genius children teach? As an elementary school teacher, she has taught many children, but when it comes to her own children, she can't make up her mind. If it is a child from another family, with her professional ability, she can slap her into the air, but when it is her son's turn, he may hesitate. What if the teacher breaks down? There is only one son. In the end, I asked my son's opinion. Shall we, you have reached the age of going to school, should we go to the kindergarten to try? Anything is fine. Su Hao said casually. So the matter of Su Hao starting kindergarten was settled. For Su Hao, it is to find a place to spend the most dangerous time when he is 5 years old. As long as the time passes, I believe it will be very smooth in the future. The kindergarten is pretty good, and the safety factor is very high. The big group of kids in the kindergarten can't beat him if they want to come. With his current skills, he is more than enough to be a kindergarten master. Su Hao carried a small school bag and went to school smoothly. On the first day of enrollment, all children who speak loudly, are noisy and naughty, and like to beat others cry. Since that day, all the kindergarten children saw Su Hao calling out for the big brother. The atmosphere of the whole kindergarten was great. The kindergarten teacher said that this was the best she had ever brought. As for what Su Hao is doing in kindergarten, of course, he will not play with the kids, but lie down and pretend to sleep, and then start to study the pinball space. He wants to gain stronger survivability, and wants to survive better. He must have a special place. The most special at present is the pinball space that can contain his consciousness, including all information. He needs to think about what this pinball space means to him and what it can bring to him. Could it only be a cycle of unlimited death, resuscitation, death, and resuscitation? Do not. Not only that. There must be many functions that Su Hao didn't understand, waiting for him to discover and use. What restricts him now is his knowledge and imagination. After passing through the childhood crisis, Su Hao will use the fastest speed to learn all the knowledge that can be learned, including physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology and other subjects, as well as a series of knowledge of human industrial system, information technology, hardware and software, etc. These things are the most important to him. Because as long as it is learned, the pinball space can be recorded and become his thing forever. Of course, Su Hao also thought about the nature of using pinball space to record information, first record all knowledge, and then slowly learn. But mere recording does not help. Only when he truly understands, the knowledge after he truly understands, is his. This afternoon, Su Hao suddenly heard a noisy voice outside the kindergarten. This couldn't help but make his heart tense, and a bad premonition emerged in his heart. Immediately afterwards, there was the frightened cry of the teachers and the crying of the children in panic. Su Hao Golu got up and looked out of the window. I saw a man of 50 or so rushing into the kindergarten with a knife and chopped it when he saw a child. At this moment, several children have been chopped to the ground, blood is bleeding all over the ground, and the security guard outside the door has already covered his chest and collapsed on the ground, weeping in pain. The children ran away in panic. The young kindergarten teacher was full of fear, his hands and feet were soft and he hit on the side, and he simply did not have the courage to stand up and stand in front of the murderer. Su Hao immediately retreated and glanced around in the classroom, only to realize that there was no back door in the classroom. The assailant was outside the door of the classroom. When he ran out from the door, he would definitely be cut down first. At this time, he was already blocked in the classroom. And there is no place to hide in the classroom, only some miscellaneous toys piled up in the middle of the classroom. He immediately ran to the toy pile, quickly picked 2 plastic plates, lifted up his clothes, and stuffed one on the back of his chest. There was a little kid who was being chased running into the classroom. He saw Su Hao as soon as he entered the door, and immediately screamed at Su Hao, "Big brother." The next moment, the kid called the eldest brother was chopped to the ground by the murderer from behind. The murderer's face was full of excitement and pride, and his eyes were bloodshot, which was terrifying. He raised his head and saw a child with a cool posture and expression, Su Hao standing in front. He excitedly raised the red machete in his hand again. "I've been hiding in kindergarten, come back." Su Hao wailed in his heart. End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 4, Escape. Chapter 4 Escape. Su Hao had experienced various methods of death before, and lacked a strong fear of death, which made him seem calm. The threat of death is right in front of him. In his opinion, it is impossible to escape this time, but he does not intend to catch it. The murderer's eyes are blood red, his thinking has fallen into madness, and the machete he slashed in his hand is no longer accurate. Su Hao spotted the knife path, shrank his head and rolled to the side, avoiding the hastily chopped by the murderer, and then quickly got up and ran to the children's slide in the classroom. There were some obstacles there, maybe he could hide it. The murderer cut through the air with a knife. He didn't think much about it. Just about to make another knife, he saw this cool kid crawling to the side. "Run. Can you run away?" A cruel color flashed in the murderer's eyes, and he chased him immediately. Su Hao caught a glimpse of the murderer behind him, caught up in 3 or 2 steps, and slashed with his knife. He calmly predicted where the knife would fall, which was his right shoulder. Su Hao immediately fell to the ground, and the machete slashed across his head, almost hitting the head with the knife. Just when he wanted to get up and continue running, he found that his ankle was grabbed by a powerful hand and pulled back. No matter how he pulled it, he couldn't stop his body from sliding back. "It's over." Su Hao sighed in his heart, really can't live past 5 years. The murderer smiled triumphantly, and the pesky kid couldn't run away this time. Raising the knife for the 3rd time, he hacked at Su Hao's back. Duh! The machete slashed on the hard plastic behind Su Hao, bounced back, and made a crisp sound. The murderer was stunned. He didn't believe in evil and slashed again. The knife still rebounded. He opened Su Hao's clothes, and 2 plastic plates fell out of his chest and back. The fierce light in the murderer's eyes rose sharply, and he couldn't wait to raise his knife and slash it again. For the last time, he wanted to see what he could block and hide this pesky kid. Su Hao grabbed a handful of broken sand from the trouser pocket when the plastic board slipped from his body, and raised it to the old face of the murderer. The murderer subconsciously released Su Hao's ankle and stretched out his hand to block his eyes. Although it blocked most of the sand, the distance was too close. Su Hao caught the sand quickly and suddenly, and sand still entered the murderer's eyes. "Ah!" The murderer screamed, blinked desperately, and hurriedly rubbed his eyes with his hands. Su Hao Gulu got up and slammed a fist under the assailant's crotch. Oh! The murderer's machete slipped from his hand, covered the vital part in pain, and slowly squatted down. Su Hao immediately ran outside the door. The sand in the eyes will quickly be automatically cleaned up by the eyes, and the critical blow will be able to recover in a few seconds, and then it will not run away. This time the assailant took a knife again, and he had no other way to resist. Su Hao fled to the door smoothly. As soon as he left the house, he saw several men in their 30s and 40s rushing towards the classroom with various sticks and objects. "Ha, the support is finally here." Su Hao breathed a sigh of relief, and ran forward without stopping until he was picked up by a strange man. The man hugged him and hid in the crowd, put him in a pile of protected children, then turned his head and rushed into the classroom again. At this time, the little kids were crying, and they were stunned when they saw Su Hao coming in. Then Su Hao's eyes swept across the little kids, and the little kids stopped crying collectively, and turned their faces carefully, silently, sobbing. Soon, the murderer in the classroom was overthrown and subdued by several men. The alarm bells peculiar to ambulances and police cars also came in the distance. Su Hao waved a small hand excitedly, this time it was safe for the time being. Until now, his small heart is still pounding fast because of excessive tension, his breathing is short, and his face is flushed. As long as he had a little panic and made a mistake, he should lie there waiting for the ambulance now. He didn't think his small body could block the bright machete. The most dangerous thing is that when the assailant grabbed his ankle, it was already the fish on the chopping board and he was slaughtered. If the assailant cuts not the back, but his head, he will undoubtedly die. After Su Hao calmed down slowly, he discovered his own changes. Before, he would never be able to keep calm thinking and adapt to such a brutal gangster. After many deaths, rebirths, and deaths, his mental quality has become extremely strong. The more critical the moment, the more calmly he can think about problems. But this is not all good. He lost his fear of death. This is very scary when you think about it. It is the same as losing the desire to survive in desperate situations. Soon, the matter was over. The scene was sealed off. The police took the murderer away. The injured child and security were rushed to the hospital for treatment. The kindergarten teacher also notified the parents to pick up the children. A large number of reporters swarmed in. Make various reports. When Huang Shujun came to the kindergarten with a panic on his face and saw Su Hao intact, tears rushed out like a flood breaking through a bank. He tightly hugged Su Hao and refused to let go. Su Hao is glad that he is still alive. If I really died today, how painful and self-blaming this mother would be. Soon, a live video began to circulate. In the video, there is a little boy who has escaped the murderer's hacking and killing time and time again, and finally fought back and wounded the murderer before successfully escaping. The little boy in the video is Su Hao. The comment area below suddenly exploded. I'll rub it, but I can't accept it. This is the legendary victory over the strong by the weak. Who is this kid? He's so handsome. At this moment, we always yelled loudly, Nyobi. I'm from a fighting club. I admit that this kid can beat me many. Something has been shown. It is estimated that the criminal has been shut down by the kid's manipulation. Maybe I can't beat this kid too, is it because I'm too weak? Be confident and take away the possibilities. This will be great from now on. I thought the movie was exaggerated enough. After watching this video, I found that the reality was even more exaggerated and sloppy. Know that people are different from people. Who is this little boy? I want to marry him. I am willing to wait for him for 10 years. The beasts upstairs are not as good as they are only 15 or 16 years later, right? How can they be handed down? I don't know if anyone noticed it. The kid was very calm throughout the whole process. When he encountered the gangster, he ran to find 2 baffles to protect himself. He also grabbed a few sands and put them in his pockets, which can only be said to be too strong. Definitely a genius. Su Hao is famous, the name of genius. After watching the video, everyone has to admit that in this world, geniuses really exist. Not convinced. End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 5, Joy of Learning. Chapter 5 The Joy of Learning. After the incident, Luo Xingrong, Huang Shujun and Su Hao sat around a table and formally held a significant family meeting. The topic is, discussion on how Luo Chaohui children go to school. After a fairly intense discussion, the family council decided on Su Hao's future study plan: skip grades, first have a student record, half the time for self-study, half of the time to the school, and find a teacher to answer questions. After negotiating with the school and the school's test on Su Hao, he readily agreed to Su Hao's admission. The school even offered to give Su Hao a series of tuition and miscellaneous fees. A plan that will benefit both parties is quickly finalized. Su Hao, who was just over 5 years old, became an honorable junior high school student. However, the difficulty of mathematics and materialization in junior high school is not worth mentioning to him. After a little review, he began to nibble on the content of high school. The only thing that is difficult to do is the liberal arts subjects such as history and politics. But this is not difficult for Su Hao, he can directly use the pinball space to record all the content. But when he really used historical knowledge to take the exam, Su Hao discovered a problem. The knowledge information recorded in pinball space was not essentially the information he had recorded himself. He wanted to find it again after a period of searching. The extraction efficiency is very low. So Su Hao had an idea: can you store the recorded information in different categories, and you need to use it at that time, just find the corresponding sub-item directly. Just do as he thinks. Through an inexplicable connection, Su Hao's consciousness has entered the pinball space, which is deserted. It seems that there is nothing, but it contains infinite information. The first step is to classify the information. How should I do it? The space has recorded all the information from its inception to the present, which is messy and disorganized. It seems like an impossible project to separate this information. But through Su Hao's in-depth understanding of pinball space over the years, he found that the information stored in the space is arranged in chronological order. That is to say, the latest information can be found quickly, but the very long-term information needs to go deep in the space and keep turning forward to find it. Su Hao thought for a moment, then he got an idea. He only needs to mark each tiny time period with a corresponding serial number, and he can locate the event or information in that time period. Then he classifies these serial numbers, which is equivalent to classifying all the information. For example, for 1 minute and 60 seconds, each second is marked with a serial number, 1, 2, 3, 60. In this minute, Su Hao recorded a piece of history in the first 10 seconds. Between 20 and 30 seconds, Su Hao after a sneeze, from 30 seconds to 40 seconds, Su Hao recorded another mathematical formula, 40 seconds to 50 seconds scratched, and 50 seconds to 60 seconds recorded another mathematical formula. Then you can classify what happened in this minute according to history, trivia, and mathematics. 1 to 10 is classified into history, 20 to 30, 40 to 50 are classified into trivial matters, and 30 to 40 and 50 to 60 are classified into mathematics. In this way, the classification of information can be completed. But the time and energy required for this sort of classification is definitely not something that Su Hao can accomplish, and he can't be distracted any time to classify everything he encounters. So, Su Hao thought of the corresponding method, intelligence. As for processing trivial information, the human brain has never been good at it, so humans invented computers to help humans process and store a large amount of complicated information. If the pachinko space can be turned into a supercomputing center that can automatically process information, then it will be self-evident for Su Hao, which is equivalent to carrying an intelligent system with him. It is very difficult to build such a system. The difficulty lies mainly in Su Hao's time and Su Hao's knowledge reserves. Time is okay, as long as he can afford to wait, he can make it out slowly. But now he lacks the most critical information technology, including how to accurately filter, classify, search, extract, and further compare, communication, and automation. Su Hao withdrew from the pinball space and slowly sorted out his plans. The next thing I don't think much about is to learn, first pick up all the science knowledge in high school. With the assistance of pinball space, the learning speed is not normal. Su Hao was 7 years old. After learning all the science knowledge in high school, he took the college entrance examination and was admitted to a prestigious school in China. A sensation throughout the country, a recognized genius, the future of the country. If there is no accident, Su Hao can really rely on the pinball space to become the top batch of scientific and technological research talents in the future. Successfully enrolled in September, the parents also quit their jobs and came to the city where the university is located, Shenzhou City, and found a new job to study with Su Hao. 4 years later, I have finished studying mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, information technology and other undergraduate majors. Of course, there will be a lot of difficulties in the learning process, but all around are big brothers, big sisters and old professors who are helpful, and they have given Su Hao the greatest help with great patience. This is how Su Hao can study smoothly in 4 years. The main reason for finishing these courses. No one is helping, and relying on his self-study alone will not necessarily succeed in 20 years. In the past 4 years, in order to relieve the financial pressure of his parents, Su Hao also copied a few books and several songs, and he was in the limelight for a while. Known as the youngest and most versatile genius in China, he is even more popular than the most popular first-line superstars. Of course, copying books and songs is not the purpose of Su Hao, learning is. So after earning enough money, Su Hao stopped. But when he thinks that there are no 4 masterpieces in this world, Su Hao feels sorry that such a classic literary work cannot be seen by people in another world. In order to give back to the help the world gave him, Su Hao decided to have time to write the 4 masterpieces so that everyone would recognize the charm of Brother Monkey. So, when I graduated from my senior year, Journey to the West came out. In this year, Journey to the West has become the most popular best-selling book in China, not one of them. Then Su Hao's parents bought a luxurious villa in Shangzhou City with the money Su Hao earned. In the villa, Luo Xingrong and Huang Shujun held a graduation party for Su Hao and congratulated him on being admitted to graduate school. Wish our baby son Xiaowei a happy graduation. Entered a new stage of life. Snapped. Pneumatic fireworks explode. Luo Xingrong and Huang Shujun immediately cheered, hugged Su Hao and threw them into the air, and then steadily caught them. Luo Xingrong has become a big fat man in vain at this moment, and the handsomeness of the past is gone forever. Instead, it was the mother Huang Shujun. Dressed up, she has disappeared from the old age, and her whole face is radiant, like a 27-year-old girl. Sure enough, wealth can change a person's spirit. Huang Shujun said to Su Hao, "Xiaowei, do you have any wishes? Your father and I can each fulfill one of your wishes." Luo Xingrong smiled and nodded. Su Hao nodded and said, "It's true. I want to learn the underlying source code development and system software programming." Luo Xingrong and Huang Shujun 2 question marks immediately popped up in their brains, but they were embarrassed to ask, but just smiled casually. "Okay, we promise you, what else?" Su Hao thought for a while and said, "I want a younger brother or younger sister." "What?" Luo Xingrong and Huang Shujun looked bewildered, and then they looked at each other, and they blushed unexpectedly. End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 6, The Light of the Universe 1.0. Chapter 6 The Light of the Universe 1.0. As for giving birth to a younger brother or younger sister, the parents also agreed to Su Hao. As for when we will see it, it is unclear. Su Hao made this request because of his consideration. He realizes that what he pursues is different from others. In the future, he may not be a qualified son. He does not know how to pretend to be a real son. Therefore, in order to make up for the lack of time for his parents in the future, he proposed to let him. Parents request for another one. Now there are a lot of savings at home, and there is no financial difficulty. The only worry is whether the parents are willing to raise another one. Actually, Su Hao thinks too much. Su Hao's parents wanted a second child early on. It's just that Su Hao has been very clingy since he was a child. Taking into account Su Hao's feelings, his parents didn't mention the second child, and gradually stopped mentioning this matter. The birth of such a genius as Su Hao gave Su Hao's parents an inexplicable confidence in their genes. Having a few more births is bound to contribute to the construction of the motherland, benefit society, and benefit mankind. After Su Hao mastered enough basic subject knowledge, he plunged into the compilation of the two-dimensional system language. He wanted to learn as soon as possible and began to write a system for his pachinko space. 1 year later, Su Hao was 12 years old and successfully coded and classified the messy information in the pachinko space. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, information technology, industrial manufacturing, agriculture, astronomy, art, weapons, and a series of classifications. And call this simple function Cosmic Light 1.0. Referred to as Xiaoguang. At the same time, Su Hao had a chubby younger brother named Luo Chaoxin who was only 2 months old. Pride and Prejudice was published and sold well. Another year, Su Hao was 13 years old. He successfully compiled a search system in pinball space, which can quickly search for the required information and upgrade it to Universal Light 1.1. The adapted version of The Romance of the Three Kingdoms was published and was very popular. The piano song Rhapsody in the Forest is online. The name of genius is the best of the moment. In another year, Su Hao is 14 years old. Cosmic Light has realized the functions of recording information anytime and anywhere and automatically encoding, sorting, and storing, and at the same time realizing the interaction of information under different categories. And successfully compiled a timetable in the pinball space. Upgraded to Cosmic Light 1.2. Su Hao's younger brother Luo Chaoxin became a bear kid. He looked silly, but his parents insisted on calling it smart. This stupid cleverness has been recognized by the people all over the country. Su Hao couldn't help but feel sorry for this stupid boy. The younger brother, who grew up in the shadow of his superstar's older brother, is absolutely nightmare in difficulty in life. It will never be possible to catch up with his elder brother in his life, but he is constantly being compared by everyone, and then denied. It's so pathetic. In the same year, the adapted version of Water Margin was published. Selling. Su Hao became the most uncontroversial master of Chinese studies and a writer in contemporary China. The nominal vice president of the Literary Association. The new piano song, Autumn Whispers, was launched and became a worldwide hit, becoming a rising musician. The topic of Su Hao is enduring. Time passed by Su Hao's continuous learning and experimentation. 1 year later, Su Hao was 15 years old, and the pinball space became more abundant. All the information was connected by Su Hao with Universal Light 1.3, divided into categories and organized. All the time, new information can be recorded through Su Hao's senses, and then automatically analyzed and compared, classified and stored, waiting for Su Hao to call at any time. In this year, Su Hao has become a beautiful young man, young and golden, with good looks, knowledgeable and good in body. This is how many old ants' dreams are. And Su Hao's younger brother Luo Chaoxin was 3 years old, and he became the new heart of his parents. Luo Chaoxin became a little devil in the family, thinking that he was the supreme and unique position in the family. However, he was wrong. In front of Su Hao, he still had to lie on his stomach. When Su Hao was coding the pinball space in his room, Luo Chaoxin actually rode his small three-wheeler, loaded with a lot of small monster toys, rushed into Su Hao's room, and held the toy gun at Su Hao. Toot toot, shooting. Then he was lifted by Su Hao with one foot, as if mopping the ground, he threw out the door, and then turned around and threw all 3 wheels, little monsters, toy guns, etc. out of the door. Luo Chaoxin cried, saying that he should not respond every day, and the ground is not working well. He tearfully looked at his parents next to him and asked for help. However, his parents pretended not to see them, and neither fart them. Only then did Luo Chaoxin understand who is the best in this family. In recent years, Su Hao's research on knowledge of various disciplines has become more and more in-depth. It is precisely because of this that he understands the brilliance of human civilization. He has studied the world so deeply and admires those great scientists who have dedicated their lives to the exploration of this world. The more I learn, the more I feel that this world is vast and mysterious, and the more I feel insignificant. Can also understand that it is so incredible that one's consciousness resides in a small wormhole. Recently, Su Hao's research topic is Big Data. The end of Big Data is intelligence. Nowadays, Big Data is limited by the computing power of computers and is far from the level of intelligence, but even so, the changes that Big Data has brought to life still reveal a hint of clues. With the passage of time, more and more information accumulated in pinball space, and then linking these data through the system compiled by Su Hao, we can foresee the distant future. The light of the universe in pinball space will inevitably become a super artificial intelligence. And this is also one of Su Hao's goals. Su Hao's consciousness entered the pinball space. At this time, the pinball space is no longer deserted, but full of sense of technology, like the control room of a future spacecraft, surrounded by dense display screens floating in the air, and various data are constantly flashing from the display screens. However, there is an electronic clock directly above it, which has kept ticking time since its birth. Displays 15 hours 21 minutes and 25 seconds for the 20th day of March 1st year. It shows that the clock was born 1 year and 3 months ago, and the numbers on it are still beating, passing by every second. The main screen is not subject classification, but a log-like layout. Su Hao can view recent information from the log. 1 year, March 19th, 0:00:00:00. Universe Lite 1.3 has been updated, the search system is optimized, and the speed is increased by 0.01%. Sensing technology has been included, the learning schedule has been arranged, and the current learning progress is 0.1%. The doctoral dissertation, Application of Big Data and Artificial Intelligence in Practice and Future Development Trends, has been formatted and can be downloaded and published at any time. The invitation from Professor Gao's Research on the Design of Quantum Communication Equipment has expired and will be automatically deleted after 3 days. Comparing the front and back of the room, the position of the computer host deviated by 1 mm, the position of the trash can was deviated by 3 cm, and the lid of the water cup was rotated 3 degrees counterclockwise. Conclusion: Luo Chaoxin entered the room, hit the host, hit the trash can, and opened the lid of the water cup. Statistics: Journey to the West sold a total of 10, 2, 3, 5, 4, 6, 7 copies. Water Margin sold a total of 231,656 copies. Go forward, you can see the log of the previous day, 1 year, March, 18 days, 0:00:00:00. Updated, Cosmic Light 1.3, optimized the automatic identification system, refined the database, and improved the contrast accuracy by 1.2%. Sensing technology has been included, and the study schedule has been arranged. The current study progress is 0%. The doctoral dissertation, Application of Big Data and Artificial Intelligence in Practice and Future Development Trends, adds a typesetting task, which is expected to take 10 seconds. The invitation from Professor Gao's Research on the Design of Quantum Communication Equipment is about to expire, please deal with it in time. Before and after the room, there is an unknown liquid on the floor. Conclusion: Luo Chaoxin was blowing his nose on the floor. Statistics: a total of 10,235,315 copies of Journey to the West have been sold, a total of 231,539 copies of Water Margin have been sold. There is no need for Su Hao to take the initiative to record what happened that day. The Universe Lite will actively screen and add information to form a log. It's clear at a glance. Not bad. Su Hao gave a smile. Then picked up the broom and opened the door and went out. Luo Chaoxin is owed again. End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 7, 9 months. Chapter 7 9 months. After Luo Chaoxin was trained by Su Hao with a broom, he once again deeply realized that he was the weakest in this family. The monster toys in the house couldn't help him fight against such powerful demons as brother, even in normal times. His parents, who love him most, are unwilling to say even a word for him in front of his brother. The elder brother is too strong, when can he defeat him and become the real master of this house? Su Hao returned to his room again, sitting in front of the computer and meditating alone. He is 15 years old this year, and the curse that the world he was reincarnated in cannot survive 5 years old seems to have disappeared. Since his luck in the kindergarten incident, his life has been smooth sailing without any risk of life. According to this trend, in this world, maybe he can live vigorously, become famous, and become a genius who has left a strong mark in human history. And this is the life he wants. He, who had nothing in his previous life, hopes that his life is full of excitement, with endless money, endless girls, can do whatever he wants, can carry out his justice, and let his reputation spread throughout the world. So far, everything is perfect. He has almost inexhaustible money. Countless girls, aunts, and women covet his beauty. He can do whatever he wants, including beating that annoying Luo Chaoxin. No one will stop him, including his parents. What he said is sought after by countless people. His justice is the justice of countless people. Although his reputation did not reach the world at this time, let him give him some time to copy the famous songs of the earth, and he will be famous. Through the world. Thinking of this, Su Hao suddenly laughed. Sure enough, such a leisurely and fulfilling life is exactly what he wants. This is the life he dreams of on the earth. Here, all dreams will be realized one by one. Of course, one cannot be too salty. While the world has made him, he must also give the world some rewards, as much as he can. I need to leave something to this world, and I can't come here for nothing. What Su Hao said was not simply referring to the books or music he copied from the earth, but he wanted to use his own efforts to actually promote the development of human civilization in this world and give it to as many people as possible. Bring a better life. This matter can't be rushed. My current knowledge is far from enough. There is still a lot of knowledge to learn, and it is limited by my knowledge. The light of the universe is still too low level now, and the computing power still uses the calculation of the vector processor. Method. If you can learn the knowledge of quantum processors, you will be able to greatly improve Xiaoguang's computing power, and the entire system will be optimized by then. So, my knowledge is still too barren, and my task is still studying. Xiaoguang, join the quantum mechanics study plan. Quantum mechanics learning program started to build. Quantum mechanics fundamental data collection. Disassembly of basic knowledge of quantum mechanics. Optimizing process. The quantum mechanics learning program was successfully established. The study time is 2 hours a day, and the duration is 3 months. 1 year later, Su Hao was 16 years old. He has obtained a doctorate degree and has a reputation for academics. During this year, after Su Hao's many optimizations, Xiaoguang's computing power has been greatly improved, and the pinball space has been optimized again. It is no longer the appearance of a spacecraft control room, but has been designed by him as an ordinary leisure living room. But this casual living room can be changed according to his mood at will. Grasslands, deserts, beaches, snow-capped mountains, and clouds can be set up as long as he can imagine. As long as you think, you can see the most recent log. He can even make a book in his hand, and the book is what he wants to check. In addition, his new book, Harry Potter, is best-selling all over the world, and he plans to write a true history about the myth of China. However, time is limited and I haven't started writing. There is also a new piano song, Imprint of the Rain, which is also popular in the world. He does these things, not for money, but just to give back to the world, so that the people of this world will be richer in the spiritual world. Now he is also qualified to say the same sentence like Marbaba, I am not interested in money. So far, everything seems to be perfect and very smooth. Soon he will be an adult, and he will be able to find those beautiful young ladies to play games in an open manner. Until one day, Su Hao, who was indulging in studying, suddenly had abdominal cramps, became dizzy and fainted on the desk. I don't know how long it took, Luo Chaoxin drove his new small armored vehicle into Su Hao's room. Today, he received the new equipment and launched a duel against his brother, the Demon King. However, the armored vehicle was turning around with majesty by his brother, without any reaction from his brother, so he boldly fired a grenade at Su Hao with the new weapon rocket launcher in his hand. The bullet popped out, hit Su Hao lightly, and fell to the ground. However, his elder brother was still silent. If he was left in peace, he would have been picked up by the big Demon King and picked up by the collar and thrown out of the room. Luo Chaoxin was at a loss and quickly. Get off the car, take off the blasting helmet, and push Su Hao hard. However, Su Hao remained motionless. Luo Chaoxin realized that something was wrong, and quickly jumped on his armored car, drove out, and activated the alarm bell on the car. Beep beep. Shouted loudly, Mom, Mom, my brother was defeated by me. Called for a while and no one answered him, and then changed his words, Mom, Mom, brother is not moving anymore. When Su Hao woke up again, he found that he had come to the hospital and was lying on a hospital bed. Parents Luo Xingrong and Huang Shujun looked at him with concern. Huang Shujun's eyes were red, tears ruined the makeup on his face, but the first time Su Hao woke up, he gave Su Hao a bright smile. Shall we wakes up, is not hungry, Mom has prepared fruit for you, if you are hungry, eat some first. Luo Chaoxin put his chin on both hands, lying on the side of the bed, just looking up at him with two bright eyes. He immediately realized that he should be ill. But it's so good, how come you fell ill? He first took a bite from the apple that Huang Shujun handed over, and his consciousness immediately entered the pinball space and looked through the log. 2 years, July 8, 0:00:00:00. Updated, Universe Lite 2.1, optimized the system display interface, and optimized the resource cross-search function. 69% of Chinese vocabulary included and analyzed. In the study of semiconductor materials, the current study progress is 3%. Sudden changes in body function, you are in a coma, data is being compared, the data is insufficient, and you need to supplement the data. Hospital examination result, pancreatic cancer. The detailed report is as follows. Estimated survival time, 9 months. Su Hao saw the log, suddenly looked confused, and his thinking fell into a vacuum. End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 8, Life. Chapter 8 Life. Shall we? Don't worry, the doctor said, your illness is just a minor illness, and you will be discharged soon. Huang Shujun smiled, chattering at Su Hao, for fear that Su Hao would think wildly. Yes, yes. Luo Shengrong nodded quickly. The doctor also said that it was mainly because you were too tired to fall ill these years, so you can no longer read books during this period, and you should take a good rest. Yeah. In order to make you feel at ease, our family has moved to the hospital during this period. And you can't read books during this period. I'm afraid you will be bored, so we are here to talk with you. Yeah. Su Hao listened carefully, pretending that he didn't know his condition, and nodded and promised his parents would heal their injuries. He didn't think about anything during this time. Then I took the time to check the pancreatic cancer on the internet. Pancreatic cancer is called the king of cancer. Seeing this, Su Hao suddenly understood, meaning that he was not saved. From the perspective of modern medicine, this is a terminal illness, with a high probability that it will not last for 9 months. Su Hao, who calmly thought about the current situation, discovered that the universe and the starry sky are mysterious and unpredictable. Isn't life mysterious and unpredictable? Mankind's current understanding of life is still in a very superficial level, and most of the illnesses cannot be cured, and the cause is unknown. And his knowledge of the human body is even more superficial, and he has almost no knowledge of his own body. The knowledge pursued over the years has been biased towards natural sciences, while ignoring the fundamental human life. Even in the cosmic light he constructed, there is not even a medicine category. Su Hao silently entered the pinball space, adding a new column to the back of many categories, named medicine. After thinking about it, I deleted it and changed it to life. The end of medicine is life. Sickness is a strong signal sent by the body. After the organs and cells in the body cannot withstand the damage, the signal to seek help from the outside world is an attempt by life. So, what is life? Flesh, cells, chromosomes, nucleic acids, proteins. Unknown. All I know is that life is a miracle in the universe for hundreds of millions of years. The meaning of life has surpassed the cognition of human beings as life itself, why it started, why it ends, and what is life. No one can give a real answer to these questions. Moreover, a normal person would not think about these issues at all. But Su Hao was lying on the hospital bed, staring blankly at the life column, and fell into deep thought for the first time. Are there really no answers to these questions? Su Hao suddenly had a strong desire to explore. The next day, Su Hao pretended to be casual and said, "Mom, I want to read medical books. Will you give me a computer?" No. Huang Shujun refused without even thinking about it. In her opinion, the reason why her baby son fell ill was because he was indulged in studying and broke his body. At this time, Luo Chaoxin next to him also raised his hand and said, "Mom, brother wants to read, and I want to read too." Huang Shujun suddenly caught fire. The first time he picked up Luo Chaoxin, he hit him, and said while he said, reading, what to read. Luo Chaoxin's old lady's words are here, and I will dare to take the top 20 of the class in the future. My old lady interrupted your leg and heard no. You will play with me in the future so that I can see you reading your homework and want you to look good. Happiness came so suddenly, this is heaven." Luo Chaoxin forgot to cry after being beaten. Su Hao scratched his head helplessly, turned to look at his father Luo Xingrong, and tried, "Dad, I just want to read a book, please help me get a computer." Before Luo Xingrong could speak, Huang Shujun immediately said loudly, "No, I can't do it if I say no." After talking, he gave Luo Xingrong a look. Luo Xingrong's originally softened heart hardened again, and said with full of breath, "Yes, no." Immediately after, Huang Shujun began to analyze to Su Hao again and again, why not show him a book, reading is harmful to health and other nonsense, making Su Hao dizzy. Finally, I had to change the way of communication. I saw Su Hao with a firm face and said, "Mom, you don't have to lie to me, I already knew that I had cancer, right? I only have less than 9 months, right?" Huang Shujun and Luo Xingrong were stunned. Luo Chaoxin seemed to understand what was wrong, learning his parents to stare their eyes to the fullest. Huang Shujun couldn't help but big tears fell like raindrops. Luo Xingrong hugged his wife quickly. Huang Shujun suddenly thought of something, and suddenly broke away from Luo Xingrong's arms, pointed at his husband, and said in anger, "Luo Xingrong," said, "Did you tell shall we?" Luo Xingrong was shocked, and immediately shook his head and waved his hand, "It's not me, it's not me. Isn't who you are." Luo Xingrong's eyes rolled, and he happened to see Luo Chaoxin with an inexplicable look. He immediately pointed to Luo Chaoxin and said, "Maybe it was Xiaoxin." Huang Shujun's burning eyes looked at Luo Chaoxin. "Luo Chaoxin. Did you say that?" Luo Chaoxin looked dazed. "Who am I, where am I, what am I doing?" At this time, Su Hao looked funny and said, "Don't guess, no one told me, I took a peek while you weren't paying attention." Huang Shujun stopped and cautiously said, "Shall we, are you sad?" "Nonsense." Su Hao said silently, "I must be sad, but what can I do if I am sad? It can't change the facts." Suddenly, the ward fell into a brief silence, and no one spoke. Seeing that the atmosphere was wrong, Huang Shujun's tears were about to fall again. He hurriedly said, "Mom, I know you are good to me, but the matter has reached this point and it is irretrievable. At the end of my life, I want to live my own way. Okay? I want to read a book." Huang Shujun choked and said, "However, the doctor said that as long as you maintain an optimistic and positive attitude towards life, you have a chance to be cured. So during this time you don't have too much pressure, just listen to your mother, okay?" Su Hao comforted, "Don't worry, I will actively cooperate with the treatment, and I will not make my body too tired, so I promise to only look at it for a short time every day." Huang Shujun was still hesitating. Su Hao said again, "And, don't you remember Mom? Your son is a genius. Let me study my disease by myself, maybe I can find a cure." Luo Xingrong hammered the palm of his hand, with dark clouds floating on his face, "It makes sense. Su Hao hit the railroad while it was hot, it's more than justified. As the saying goes, it's better to ask for yourself than for yourself. You should take control of your own life. Believe in me, it might really be possible." Finally, Huang Shujun was persuaded and agreed to help Su Hao get a computer and go to the bookstore to help him buy some books on medical research and life sciences. The prerequisite is that it is only allowed to be used for no more than 4 hours a day, and it will be recovered after 4 hours. But for Su Hao, such conditions are like no restrictions at all. You only need to get a computer and scan all the knowledge of life medicine into the pachinko space, and you can view it in the pachinko space at will. After discussing Su Hao's affairs, Huang Shujun turned his attention to Luo Chaoxin. "Xiaoxin, tomorrow my mother will take you to apply for extracurricular interest classes. You have to learn art, piano, dance, taekwondo, swimming, table tennis, you must practice your body well, you know." Luo Chaoxin fell from heaven to hell. The book has been signed, you can safely collect it. End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 9, 1.5 million years. Chapter 9 1.5 million years. In this way, Su Hao studies, eats, and sleeps every day. The understanding of life is getting deeper and deeper, the greatness of life, and the fragility of life are also understood. When he learned that life itself contains many miracles that cannot be accurately understood by science, he also specifically looked for many Taoist, Buddhist scriptures, and Chinese medicine theories for reference, and wanted to understand how the ancient philosophers viewed life and how they viewed life. Miracle. A concept mentioned in puzzled Su Hao. Heart force. Mentality is an important factor in turning decay into a miracle, and it can create miracles. But what is mental strength? Some say it is the power of a person's thinking, some say it is a person's belief, some say it is a person's inner desire, some say it is the yearning for life, some say it is the fighting spirit to never surrender in the face of difficulties, or even say, life and death can be decided by yourself. If the heart is going to live, it will live a long life, and if the heart is going to die, it will be plagued by all kinds of diseases. These phenomena exist in reality, but science cannot explain them temporarily. Presumably, as human beings continue to explore forward, an answer will eventually be obtained. So Su Hao established a new topic in The Light of the Universe, Mind Studies. The works of ancient philosophers on life, consciousness, and soul are included in it, waiting for serious study in the future. At the same time, his body is getting thinner, his face is declining, but the light in his eyes is still shining. He understands that there is not much time in this world. Recalling the life of more than 10 years, there is no regret, I have everything I want. He insisted on saying regret, but there was still a lot to learn, and he was still under adulthood, and he said that the beautiful and sweet young lady was nowhere to be seen. In the process of treatment, he suffered a great deal of pain in his body. He personally experienced the torture and helplessness of cancer patients in the late stage. On the one hand, he hopes for life and believes that miracles will occur. On the other hand, he is unbearable for the pain and torture. Hope as soon as possible. Relief. Who doesn't want to live happily? But there are also opinions that people are born to suffer. Perhaps life is to find hope in destruction. This is not known. Although Su Hao is suffering, he has no idea of self-determination. One is because he has to face the hope of his parents, and the other is to collect the whole process of life from the disease to the end. I believe this information can be used someday in the future. No matter what Su Hao thinks, no matter how his parents keep, that day will always come. Su Hao's parents asked over and over again next to Su Hao, do you have any wishes? Before he died, Su Hao smiled hard, thank you, Mom, thank you, Dad. At this time, Luo Chaoxin leaned over and looked at his own brother expectantly. Su Hao smiled, ignored him, but said to his parents, goodbye. Presumably, if you close your eyes, you will never see each other. Said silently in his heart, sorry, I took up your son, but there is no way to accompany you to the end. Luo Chaoxin, take care of your parents. Accompanied by heart-piercing crying, Su Hao's consciousness plunged into darkness again. The genius passed away at only 16, which is regrettable. The splendid culture of 50 years of human vacancy. The first genius in the ages, the life of Luo Chaohui. The most shining meteor of this century, although short, will surely be amazing for 1,000 years. Does anyone know the name of the 4 masterpieces that Master Luo Chaohui said? On this day, the whole world may be sad or happy. How do they evaluate Su Hao? He no longer knows. Su Hao's consciousness gradually recovered. He found that he had become a little boy over 2 years old. He was straddling his neck by a tall and strong man, and his hands were hooping the man's head for fear of accidentally falling to the ground. Although he was prepared in his heart, he was still a little bit reluctant. He hadn't played enough in the last world when he was about to become famous. It's fine now, but I have to start all over again and become a fragile little boy with no self-protection. From losing consciousness in the last world to regaining consciousness now, Su Hao didn't feel that it had been a long time, as if she slept beautifully. After waking up, all the pains of the disease and pain disappeared, and the body became extremely light and full of vitality. Although his hands are short and his feet are short, he has no strength, but he enjoys the feeling of no pain and torment. After Su Hao woke up, he found that the man was taking him on the road. He was wearing ragged armor and holding a knife and a shield in both hands. There was no danger for the time being, so he relaxed, his consciousness entered the pinball space, and began to check the log. As soon as his consciousness entered the pinball space, Su Hao was shocked. It's not because of the big change in the pachinko space. The pachinko space still looks like a living room. What shocked him was the clock on the wall. The time displayed at this time plunged him into deep fear. March 25, 153-2648, 3:3:21. I just slept, and more than 1.5 million years have passed. This is an exaggerated time span, beyond Su Hao's imagination. The Earth's human civilization has only been recorded for 5,000 years. Wake up again, everything before, I'm afraid it has been wiped out, all the grievances, all the glorious achievements have all disappeared, the huge wealth that was once proud of, the reputation of China that is proud of, the world is full of praise, the so-called celebrities through the ages, seems to be meaningless now. The only thing left is the information lying quietly in the pinball space. Everything that has happened is recorded in it, and only this information makes the last world look alive. Information? Su Hao murmured. Yes, he suddenly understood that information is the most important thing. To put it simply, it is knowledge. For life, knowledge is the most important thing. All the knowledge he has learned is real, and this knowledge is the treasure accumulated by the entire civilization for countless years. Continue to check the log. 3 years, May, 7 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Enter the unknown starry sky, automatically add the comparison is successful, and the coordinates are recorded. 5 years, February 4th days, 0:00:00:00. Enter the unknown starry sky, automatically add the comparison is successful, and the coordinates are recorded. September 100, 12 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Enter the unknown starry sky, automatically add the comparison is successful, and the coordinates are recorded. January 18, 359 years, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 0 seconds. Enters an unknown starry sky, is attracted by high-quality stars, and turns. The comparison is automatically added, the comparison is successful, and the coordinates are recorded. August 25, 1526, 0, 0, 0. Enters the unknown starry sky, is affected by the cosmic magnetic field, and turns around. The comparison is automatically added, the comparison fails, the new star map is established, and the establishment is successful. Quickly jump to view the latest log. March 24, 153-2648, 0:00:00:00. Entered into the unknown starry sky, found abnormal gravity, gravity locked, unable to move. The comparison is automatically added, the comparison fails, the new star map is established, and the establishment is successful. This news was updated 3 hours ago, indicating that the pinball space successfully landed on the little boy 3 hours ago. Su Hao looked at it while thinking, this cosmic light system is not perfect enough to record more information during the roaming process. This point needs to be supplemented. In the future, you can know where you are in the universe by comparing star maps. Lack of a cosmic space coordinate system. End of this chapter. My Divine Diary Chapter 10, Xuewu. Chapter 10 Learning Martial Arts. What's wrong, Xiang Wu? The man heard Su Hao's voice and asked. Su Hao did not answer. It's not that he doesn't want to answer, but that he doesn't understand what the other party is saying. I can only feel that this man is his father in this life. This is also Su Hao's most distressing point. Except for the previous life of China, every time he wakes up from the reincarnation, he has to learn the language and characters of another world. Fortunately, although the original body is only 2 years old, he already has a certain foundation. As long as he adapts for a period of time, he can receive the legacy left by the original boy. Seeing that Su Hao didn't answer, the man stopped talking, instead rushing on the road. At the same time, he was carefully guarding the surrounding environment, as if he was worried about a sudden attack. Here. The man quickened his pace, and a small stone village appeared in front of him. On the high wall of Xiaozhai, there were 2 big men who looked at them vigilantly. They saw that it was a man riding a little boy around his neck, and they immediately felt relieved. Yo brother 3 is back. Why didn't you get anything today? The man on the left was full of scars, and he greeted the man. Yes, bad luck today. The man nodded and walked quickly under the wall. Just as Su Hao guessed what they were talking about, the man under the crotch suddenly accelerated. Su Hao was frightened and hugged the man's head tightly. After the man sprinted in 3 steps, he suddenly stepped on the ground, his whole person rose into the air, and then steadily landed on the wall. Su Hao opened his mouth wide. The wall is 8 or 9 meters high visually, and martial arts masters dare not play like this. Could this life's father be a martial arts master? Su Hao's eyes flashed with excitement. This time you can fight for father. The name of the little boy that Su Hao is attached to is Wu Xianguo. The man under the crotch is his father, Wu Yuntian, a senior human elite warrior. The task was to station the Chashan post outside Lingyun town, that is to say, Wu Yuntian was a sentry, and the Chashan post was his home. The garrison mission was only received 2 years ago, and the mission period was 15 years, so he brought his wife and children to the outpost to live in. Of course, Chashan post is not just Wu Yuntian as a soldier. Like him, there are 30 soldiers who have been assigned to Chashan post. Those who have families will drag their families to live in Chashan post. The few who have no family. Basically, I won't be able to marry a wife anymore. Therefore, this small Chashan post is said to be a post, rather than a small village of 30 families. It's just such a small village with 120 people. Wu Yuntian has a high status in the T Mountain post, and his military power is recognized as the 3rd place, so everyone is used to calling him the 3rd or 3rd brother. As long as it is Wu Yuntian, everyone is willing to give face, that is, what he often says is useful. I want to say that Su Hao's mother in this life was killed by a beast in order to protect her son Wu Xianguo in an attack by a beast a year ago. For this reason, Wu Yuntian blames himself very much, and sometimes even blames his son Wu Xianguo. If it were not for Wu Xianguo's drag, his wife would be able to escape smoothly. But Wu Yuntian also knew that he could not put the blame on a child, but he couldn't help thinking like this. In this way, he fell into a contradiction. I blame myself for being too weak and failing to protect my wife for a while, and blame my son for a while, adding to the chaos. So he never gave his son Wu Xianguo any smiles. He just took on the responsibility of being a father, protecting the cubs, raising them, nothing more. Su Hao has slowly adapted to his new identity in the absence of his father's love. 1 year later, Su Hao is 3 years old. In the past year, I have spoken everything neatly, and by the way, I have learned the words of this world. Through reading to understand the general outlook of the world. People are used to calling this world the Yonghe continent. The Yonghe continent is not ruled by the human race. There are countless fierce beasts rampant outside the human towns. For the human race, this world is very dangerous and still faces the problem of survival. There are often a large number of beasts attacking human cities and towns, and the destruction of cities also happens from time to time. Therefore, a large number of sentries will be set up outside each town to serve as an early warning buffer zone for the attack of the beasts. But in most cases, only a few fierce beasts broke into the territories of the human race, which did not pose a threat, and the soldiers at the outpost were sufficient to deal with it. The danger is not as high as imagined, unless a large group of beasts strikes and all the staff are destroyed. If you really encounter this situation, you can only say that you are out of luck. Furthermore, the martial arts system in this world are ordinary martial artists, elite martial artists, Grand Master martial artists, Grand Master martial artists, and Ancestor martial artists. He didn't know what kind of strength these warrior levels corresponded to. His father, Wu Yuntian, was a high-level elite martial artist. In Su Hao's view, he was already very powerful. In terms of martial arts level, he could be called a first-class master. So what kind of existence are the higher master martial artists and grand master martial artists? What about the ancestor warrior? Will be a personal nuclear bomb? So, one of Su Hao's most concerned questions is, can he reach such a height through study and exercise? For dinner on this day, I ate the meat of the ferocious rat. The meat is soft and crispy, coated with some fat, and it is sizzling on the fire. After it is cooked, it is sprinkled with some salt, which is a delicacy in the world. Su Hao was enjoying the skewers, and boldly said to Wu Yuntian, who was sitting silently, "Father, I want to learn martial arts. You teach me martial arts." Wu Yuntian glanced at Su Hao and said lightly, "You are still young, I will teach you when you are 6 years old." When Su Hao heard it, his heart was cold. According to his past experience, he may not be able to survive at the age of 5. If you really want to wait for 6 to learn, I am afraid that you will have to wait millions of years. He has a reason to master the ability of self-protection in advance. Su Hao asked, "Why do you have to be 6 years old to learn?" "I don't know, I started learning at the age of 6, and everyone started learning at the age of 6. I think this is unreasonable." "What is unreasonable?" "The correct approach should vary from person to person. Different people should start learning at different times." "Father, you said that you started learning at the age of 6, which is suitable for most people, not necessarily suitable for me. Maybe I am the most is the age suitable for study at 3 years old. I missed this excellent age, and I am afraid that I will not be able to become stronger in the future." Wu Yuntian seemed to know his son for the first time. When did this kid speak so neatly? Recall that when he was 3 years old, did he like this? He came interested. "You are wrong, how do you know when you are suitable for martial arts? How could it be crooked? For example, if everyone is squatting to pee, should I squat to pee?" Wu Yuntian was dumb for a while, always felt that there was a problem with what this kid said, but he didn't know where the problem was. Su Hao observed Wu Yuntian's expression, and said, "Want to know when I'm suitable for martial arts, but it's not easy. Try it and you'll know." "It makes sense." Wu Yuntian hesitated for a while. Su Hao put more fire, "I know why everyone is used to learning martial arts at the age of 6, because children before the age of 6 are immature and have insufficient understanding, so it is easy to train themselves." Straightened his chest, patted loudly and said, "I am not the same." "Father, don't you have any confidence in your son?" After a while, Wu Yuntian nodded and said, "Okay, then try." Before Su Hao had time to be happy, Wu Yuntian added, "But you are still too young now. Let's grow taller. I will officially teach you in half a year." Su Hao gladly accepted. Half a year is not bad too, can afford to wait. Take advantage of this half a year, hurry up to continue learning in the pinball space to consolidate the knowledge of the human body. End of this chapter.